Welcome to Mindcast, your 10-minute mental wellness break, brought to you by BeWell. We're your BeWell counselors, here to talk about stress, anxiety, depression, and everyday mental health. Let's get into it.
Hello, everybody. I'm Genae Brady, and I work with Sanitas with the BeWell program. I'm a counselor with them, and welcome to our podcast, Mindcast. And here I have with me today, I have Begum Sabansi. Did I say that right?
Yes. Hi, Genae. How are you today?
I'm doing pretty good. Today we are discussing self-esteem and self-image. So, Begum, what is self-esteem and self-image? Give us a rundown of it.
Yes. So we can technically say it's all about how we perceive ourselves and how we see ourselves in society or within in ourselves. That's self-image and self-esteem. It's very common word, right? Like we're just talking about it to increase it. Everyone has some questions about it. So I think this is a great topic to start with.
Mhm. Yeah, because it's important that you see yourself in a positive light. It's important that everybody's going to have some type of thoughts about different people and things like that, and that's fine. Everybody's not everybody's cup of tea, but you got to be your own cup of tea. You got to accept
Exactly.
and love yourself. And I tell a lot of my patients too, when they're feeling down about themselves or they feel like they're not as good. It's like, why would you put other people on a pedestal and not put yourself up there on that too? What are some things that you tell your patients
So
about
true.
self-image and self-esteem?
Mm-hmm. There's a metaphor that I love. I always tell them, if I would put you in a room, let's say, and I am gonna put you with your best friend, bestie, or someone that you really love on the side. In the room, there is your bully, let's say. And I think it's all about how we perceive ourselves, how we see ourselves, and how close we are to our authentic version. So if you're in a room with your bully, that inner voice is always negative, judging, saying, oh, fix your weight, fix your looking. So it's a lot to do with self-esteem, right? Not just outside, also inner self. But if we are practicing self-compassion, if we are really working on our self-growth, we get to a point we accept the way we look, the way we feel, like our best friend or partner or family members could do.
Yes, I totally agree. I often tell my patients, and I like that metaphor you use, like what if you're in the room with your bully and your best friend, which one are you going to accept? I also tell my patients a lot of times, it took 1 in 1 million chance for you to be here on this earth and to experience air, to experience love, to experience sorrow, to experience happiness, to experience sunlight. You belong here. So you got to feel like you belong here, and you got to love and accept yourself. This is your shell. No matter what happens, this will change over time. This will change over time. No matter what, you have to love and accept yourself. And there's something you don't like, it's okay to change it, but you got to
Exactly.
love yourself. And whatever somebody says on the outside, don't take too much of it in, because sometimes they could be talking about their own selves.
And sometimes you're so right. This is how we look, but it's not only the way to identify ourselves. Again, I want to point that self authenticity. Like if we are authentic with our own self and accepting the way, this is who I am. Maybe you're so much talkative. Maybe you're so silent. Maybe you have personality traits. They're not easy to change, but self esteem, it's also accepting them. This is who I am. So I can find people or friends that fits to my needs. And I can turn this personality trait that I don't like to a job maybe, or to perform something with that, do some art with that. So it's always possibility. Like you said, we born with some traits, but that doesn't mean just because right now, as of today, we're feeling down or not accepting ourselves, it's not a forever thing. You can change.
Yeah. I
Mhm.
also tell my patients to picture yourself like you're fighting against a monster, and it's going to tell you all these negative things. You know,
Yeah.
you have to be the warrior for yourself. Are you going to let the monster swallow you up? or are you going to fight against it and win? Be the hero in your own story. You
Mhm.
know, so somebody doesn't like your hair, love your hair. So somebody doesn't like the color of your eyes, you got to love it yourself. So somebody doesn't like the way you laugh, maybe you snort when you laugh. Doesn't matter. You have to love your laugh. You're a very jolly person. Love your laugh. They may not like
And
it,
when
whatever.
we start, they will also love it more, right? That happens a
Exactly.
lot. Also, we're talking about respect to ourselves first,
Hmm.
and that is a lot to do with self-esteem and how we perceive ourselves, self-image. And you said you have to witness. Like, I think I love this. I share this all the time with my clients. I have to witness myself, my presence. Like, I am here in the moment, right? And this is me. I have to accept it. I can make adjustment how I look, how I love myself, but that doesn't mean this version of ourself is bad. I think there is like perceiving how we perceive ourselves. There are some problems with that. But in counseling sessions, we usually talk about it. I think it's important to work on self growth, self esteem, self acceptance. That's where everything starts with healing as well in sessions. And in BeWell program, we definitely sit down and really do some practices. I let my patients, okay, how about if we do this practices? And remember, when I talk about practices, they're not always playing Pollyanna, always being positive. I'm not talking about that. That's not scientifically realistic. I always tell my clients, you're going to remember me with saying you 10 times, 20 times. Not be too positive, not be too negative, but work with where you are. So we want to be realistic. This is how I look, or this is how I feel.
Yep. I especially tell patients, don't worry about mistakes you make. Everybody makes mistakes. Nobody is perfect. Even
Yeah,
me, I make mistakes. I make mistakes. You're supposed to
so
learn
true.
from your mistakes. When you fall, you scrape your knee, dust it off, get up, try again. It's okay. And forgive yourself. Give yourself some grace sometimes. It's okay.
Mhm.
You
Yeah,
don't have to be
definitely.
perfect. You don't have to fit in every little cookie cutter that everybody else wants you to fit in.
Yeah,
Your cookie
especially with
cutter.
the social media, this is a common problem now.
Yes, it is a common problem. Everybody,
Mhm.
oh, I wish I looked like her. I wish I looked like you. You can look like that. You can look like a doll or whatever. But what's on the inside of that doll?
And
That's
how
important.
they feel, because it's a harsh way to go to be look like someone else, not your authentic version.
Mhm.
And we know, like recent research, all the data shows us anxiety and depression levels are so increased lately, especially in teens and early adulthood, because of the social media increasing. And there's all these messages, stimulants towards to us. You should be looking this way. You should be feeling this way. You should be acting this way, or you should have this many kids, this many degrees. It's a lot to do with self-esteem. Like, it's not helpful tool actually. But remember, everyone is unique. Like you said, there's very, very tiny small chance that we are on the earth, and we are all unique. We have to go with this information and remind ourselves, I am unique, I am worthy of love, and I
Mhm.
can start witnessing myself, love myself, care for myself. It's not always about the nail polish or hair. It's all about your peace and self-compassion. I really love this topic. It's a great tool. I want all of my patients, all of the people start learning, searching, practicing this tool, because when you are so empathic and understanding, loving, caring to yourself without being lazy, that's the trick with the self compassion, right? Then what you do, you are opening that space that you needed in your own life. From there, everything starts with the baby steps.
Begum, this was wonderful. I'm glad that you came here and helped me with this podcast. I'm hoping that we can have you on again someday. So,
Okay.
if you or anybody else out there is needing assistance, or if you're suffering from some depression or anxiety, or you like to talk about self esteem, or you want to work on your self esteem or your self image, or you have children that want to work on their self esteem or self image,
Mhm.
please call Sanitas. And as for the BeWell program, we have excellent doctors, we have excellent counselors like myself and Begum who are here to help you. And don't forget to like and share. Thank you.
Thank you, Genae. Thank you. See you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.